Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here post-Easter. Well, it's not post-Easter.
What is it
'Cause
then? It is
yeah,
after?
I guess it is.
I think it might be.
It's still part of Easter. The celebration's not over.
I know. And didn't it turn out to be a beautiful
Oh,
day?
gorgeous.
Good morning, I'm Peggy Burton. But I just was hoping and praying that we'd have sunshine on Easter.
And it was a beautiful
It
day.
hit me in the face when I got out of bed. It was somebody was watching over us.
You know, and we're fortunate in our family that Fran's Fran's mother's sister, Martha Smart, married a young man from McMinnville, Damer Smart, and they have a farm up there
Yeah.
in Smart. I mean, it's at Smart Station. It's
Smart
named after their
Station.
family. Their family
Oh,
was
I
the
see.
first people there, and it's just wonderful to go to the farm and look at the table and the dogs and the cattle and the food.
I know.
It's just a
yeah.
wonderful celebration.
Well, my family came, Bart and Kathy from Virginia, and Kathy's mother from California, and my daughter and her husband, and a couple of people met at the Bell Buckle Banquet Hall, and that's always a sensational
heavens,
meal.
yes.
It was really nice, but especially nice to have my family.
Oh yeah. How's the
As
general
small
doing?
as it is, the general is wore out.
I bet he is. I bet he is.
Because they drove in and spent 2 nights and drove back to Virginia. That's a lot of driving.
I guess with the way
he had a
the world
meeting.
is and the way the country is now, he's a pretty busy young man.
He is very busy. He almost flew back to Virginia because he had a meeting this morning. That's why he left yesterday. There's always something,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I'm glad we have someone with his capabilities and knowledge that's up there trying to add some common sense to what's going on.
Maybe some
Maybe
will rub
somebody will
off, yeah.
listen.
I hope so.
You know,
I
you don't
hope
know.
so.
You don't know. Did you find the gold egg?
I did not find the gold egg. I am such a pessimist. I don't think it exists. I have trouble with that.
It was funny. We walked in up at the farm and walked into the kitchen. It's a big old farm kitchen.
Yeah.
And there were all kinds of ladies in there, young ladies, old ladies, and I just stopped them all. I said, "Wait a minute! Everybody, put down what you've got and hold your hands out." They said, "Why?" And I said, "I want to see if there's any deviled eggs under your fingernails."
Were they all cousins and
Cousins and
relatives
friends
and
of cousins
friends
and in-laws, and there's 3 daughters in that family, and they all of them are married, and 2 of them are pregnant, and it's just the family dynamic. You know, it's just wonderful to
That's great.
see the younger ones taking over and doing their share or more than their
or
share.
more than their share?
You know, so it's
That's as
it's
it
a
should
great
be.
thing.
As it should be.
And Philip saying that about deviled eggs, I think we're going to have a feature on deviled eggs today.
Oh, good.
I think Philip was over in Manchester, and there was a deviled egg contest
Wow.
at one of the stores over there.
Yeah.
So they had a judging
Wouldn't you like to get in
of
on the
deviled
judging?
eggs. I'd like to get in on the eating.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the judging.
Because
That's
they get
right.
to eat a piece of all of it.
All of the deviled eggs.
That's a cool thing to do.
Oh yeah, and he told about the different ones, and so will we have that on this, Philip? Sure. Yeah,
that sounds
we'll have
good.
that on this show today, and
I think we have some good things coming up on this show today.
we do. We have our police chief here, Jason Williams, and he's here to discuss with us the SRO program where we have now have officers in every school.
I read that in the newspaper, and I was so relieved. I congratulate Tullahoma and the police department for making that move.
And it's not everything that you do involving manpower, particularly manpower with credentials, costs money.
Oh, yes, I know.
And so I'm interested in talking to him, and of course, they went ahead and did it till the end of the year, which is not far away. It's about another month, I guess,
Right.
till graduation. And then the board is going to have to get together and find out a way to pay for it.
Oh, of course. Speaking of graduation, did you read about the young man that's 14 years old that is the valedictorian at Tullahoma High School?
I did.
I think that is fabulous.
14 years
he
old.
is certainly to be congratulated.
Doogie Howser.
Doogie, yeah. I like the name.
Wasn't there a show about Doogie Howser? Wasn't he a smart guy?
I think so.
And then there's a couple of TV shows, The Good Doctor and Young Sheldon, and some of
Yeah.
these shows about these very bright young people.
But anyway, I just think that's fabulous. And we have TEDx coming up this weekend
Yes,
at
we
South
do.
Jackson. I think it's Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, and we have someone here
I
today.
think 9:30's coffee
9:30
and
is
10
coffee,
o'clock
that's
is
right.
10 o'clock is
And then we
the
have
start.
Piping on the Green, and we're going to talk about that
Talk
today.
about that today. Yeah, it's just Tullahoma wide open, and the sun's supposed to shine just about all week.
I hope
this week.
so. I hope so.
So all is good, best I know. There's all kinds of things going on, and the sun's out, and people are starting to plant flowers. And
And we're also, I think, going to touch on Jazz on Jackson a little bit today.
Oh,
maybe.
do.
If
Oh,
not,
do.
I mean, if not, it's coming up the 30th of the month, which is International Jazz Day.
now, what
and
day is that on?
It's on Sunday afternoon at 2:30.
Oh, very
because
good.
we do this event on International Jazz Day, regardless of when it comes. If
Okay.
it's Saturday, if it's Sunday, if it's Thursday, and that's
Right.
what we're trying to do.
Good.
To honor the tradition, or start a tradition at the Performing Arts Center.
Now, I hear that there's going to be some special tables.
Well, that's
Special
true.
seating.
If you got an extra dollar or two and you want food to eat and drinks to drink, there's tables for 2, tables for 4, and 6,
And,
I
and
believe.
those will be, I know the last time they did that, those were on stage.
They were on stage. There may be a couple on the floor, but it just depends. And anyway, it's a fun thing.
Oh, yeah.
That a lot of people like to do that. It's kind of like being in a jazz club.
Right, and you know, that's one thing that I want to prop you up for, is the fact that you have made it your goal and mission to see that we have different types of music in that
I
facility.
just think that's important.
Because there's more than country, and there's more than show tunes.
Exactly.
There's
more
other
than
types
theater.
of music that we need to be sure that our young people have an opportunity
Yeah.
to hear it and see it.
These musicians that we're bringing in are just fabulous. I probably don't have time to mention
Sure you
them
do.
all, but it's a Kyle Stevens quartet. And Kyle is, I think, from New York, and Stevens originated from New Orleans, and so they kind of have a combination, different types of jazz. And anyway, I was impressed by this when I read the article in Tullahoma News by Kyle Murphy. Thank you, Kyle. Mr. Kyle has played with Alan Toussaint, and if you're a jazz person,
Yep.
you know that. Elvis Costello, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Leon Russell, Gatemouth Brown, Bonnie Raitt, Billy Joel, and then there was another long list. I just happened to jot
Right.
those
Oh, that's
down.
good enough. You've
And,
done good.
Anyway, he also sings, so this is a jazz quartet with a singer, and then the piano player, he's a composer and pretty well world renowned and been all over the place, and the drummer I think might be out of Memphis, and the bassist, but they're all named musicians, fabulous music. I hope that people will
Very good.
come and get a chance on, and it's April 30th.
Okay.
Don't miss
and what I said about Easter not being over, you know, Easter goes past the resurrection,
Oh yeah, of course.
because there's stories and things that happen before the ascension. And in my little Easter omnibus book, which is right here, which you can find right now at the gift shop at South Jackson Civic Center or at the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center.
Good.
And I'm going to read the last 2 pieces of that, because it pertains to after the resurrection. The holes. Two friends walked a country road. Emmaus was their goal. And on the way, they discussed stories they were told about a prophet Jesus who died then rose for them. But lost in doubt and despair, they couldn't let him in. As they journeyed, a stranger joined their walk. They shared their doubts and fears, and he began to talk, shared prophecy and scripture, proclaiming Christ was real. He changed their way of thinking, so they begged him share a meal. Their eyes did not let them see that Jesus sat with them until they broke bread, bowed their heads, and prayed with him. Then their eyes were opened as well as their hearts. They found a new journey. They got a brand new start when he said, "Can't you see the holes? Feel my hands, rub my feet. They claim my body stole. Just believe and you will see the one who hung upon the cross as God's thunder rolled, alive again as was foretold. Can't you see the holes? Now go forth and tell your friends Jesus Christ the Savior has returned again. The salvation promised here to cleanse your souls. You can see the proof in me. Can't you see the holes? All you need is to believe. Can't you see the holes?"
Well done, John. Are there more in there?
And then the crown of thorns.
Okay.
God's will be done through his one and only Son, offered as a Savior for all of us on earth, concealed from speculation by a virgin birth. He learned, he taught, preached as he walked until the healing in all he passed was done. He tested those in power, sometimes won, sometimes lost. At the last he was tortured. Then he carried his own cross and crucified at the world's darkest hour. On the third day, triumphantly he rose again. Then alive he ascended to sit at God's hand. On the journey, so the journey ended that let us be reborn through the suffering of the one who wore the crown of thorns.
Very good.
Easter Omnibus, go pick you one up. With that said, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back with all kinds of exciting, neat things. Don't you go away.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
He's a little bit of you, he's a little bit of me. He's the trash along the roadside of Tennessee. He's the garbage that we find. He's the dream we left behind. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. A throwaway bottle or pop-top can may not seem much to a traveling man, but a little bit of litter goes a long, long way. Growing, getting bigger every day. Tennessee trash messing up the highways. Tennessee trash jumping up the byways. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash.
We have
at the enemy, and he is us.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and we have our police chief, Jason Williams, here today on police pointers. And what we're going to talk about to start off with is what's on everybody's lips right now and in the news, is that we, the city, along with the police department and with the school system, have found a way to put officers in every school, not SRO officers, because they have to be trained in a specific way to be an SRO officer, but we have certified officers in every school from now till the end of school season.
Yes,
to the
sir.
end of school.
Yep. No, that's correct. Thank you for having me on. Always a pleasure
Always
to come.
welcome, my
Yes, sir.
friend.
Always a pleasure to come and talk to you and get good information out to our community about what's going on with our men and women in the police department. As you alluded to, we do have Tullahoma police officers in our city school system. It's a decision that my staff and I sat down and discussed, and it's something we'd kind of been in talks about anyways, just because we had really been getting a lot of feedback from the community
Right.
on requesting that. I feel it's our obligation as public servants, as representatives of the city, to be responsive to our needs of our community. Being the outcry and the outpouring that we had from our citizens, it was something we worked hard to try and make happen, and we're very fortunate because of our men and women who backed the idea and that we were able to make it happen. So like you said, it's up through the end of the school year, and then through the budgeting process that we're working on now, we'll be able to, we're going to present to have SROs in our budget coming up. So that process is kind of in the infancy stages now and be working its way through the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. So.
And hopefully, as we go through that, by the time we start school in the fall, this should be, hopefully this will be in place.
We hope so. It will be, it'll be a marathon. It won't be a sprint. Anytime you talk about adding officers to something, right now, approximately, we are slated for about 38 sworn police officers at Tullahoma. So, when you talk about adding 7 more officers into that fold to fill newly created positions, there'll be some time involved in that.
Right.
If it depending on, if we're able to hire somebody that's already certified, obviously that will not require as much time to invest in that individual. But if we had to hire people that have no certification, then you're talking several months' time to get them certified as a police officer. The SROs have to go through specific SRO training to be in those roles. And so by the time we're able to get all those things done, and we'd have to purchase additional equipment, because like I said, right now we're slated for 38 officers. You know, if we upped our total sworn officers to 45 officers, then there'd be other equipment purchases that we'd have to make. Cars, you know.
Vest, I
yes,
mean,
sir.
everything that
Yes, sir.
the gear that all of
Uniforms.
them,
Yes, sir.
that all of them take with them and wear every day.
Yes, sir.
Has got to be purchased. So we're looking at, you know, that's anywhere from $250,000 to $1 million worth of expense.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And that's a yearly, well, it won't be a yearly expense.
No, the first year would be the most expensive
Right.
year to get the program up and going.
And equipment and cars.
Yes, sir. And then after that, it would be maintaining the salary and benefits of the people that are in those positions. the
So
officers.
it's not just, hey, we've got some people and we can throw them over there on their day off and this and that and the other. You're talking about a $650,000 to $700,000 yearly add to the budget.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'd say around 600,000. Yes, sir.
And so
yeah,
that's what we
subsequently
need to
afterwards.
hunt for.
Yes, sir. And that's, you know, that's, I think, you know, I'm very thankful that we are in the position that we are now, that we've been able to put officers in the schools just to get us through the end of the school year. We've had, like I said earlier, we've had a lot of feedback from the public about it. You know, you could just feel, out of all the events that have happened, you know, you could almost feel the concern, the angst, and, you know, somewhat the fear that people
Right.
have had about, you know, our children, and rightfully so. That's our most precious commodity we have, and we want to ensure that they're safe. But we also have to have certain conversations leading up to it about, okay, what is our role going to be? What are we going to do it? How are we going to implement it? And then we as a community, you know, what do we want? What does safety look like to Tullahoma to keeping our kids safe?
Right.
And because, you know, when we have to strike that balance of things,
Right.
we have to find, okay, we want to do this because we feel safe doing this, but we don't want to go, you know, overboard with it. It's
Right.
It's like I had a discussion with somebody a while back that was like, well, you know, I think we need to lock the schools down. I think we need to add this. I think we need to add that. And it's like, we can build a prison-like building for kids to go to school in that is a super ultra secure facility. But is that what is right for our kids to learn in that environment? What kind of message does it send when we want them to be in an environment where it's open and it's learning and it's nurturing and
Sure.
things like that?
Sure.
So, you know, I think those are some of the discussions we have to have and that our community has to have is, you know, where do we find that balance in what we feel good with and what we know will help create a level of safety for our children. But, you know, what is that stopping point? You know, like when
Right.
we do this, okay, we're good with this and we're going to move forward from that point. So.
You know, and of course, when we all look back at the day, and of course, when we went to school, when you walked into school, you were in school till the school was out.
Yes, sir.
And you didn't get up and go anywhere except to the next class.
Right.
Or if you snuck out to the diner, which was 2 doors down, and got a cheeseburger for lunch instead of, and we always got caught when we did that. But in today's education system, you know, these kids have classes. Some of them go to Motlow. You know, they can come and stay maybe an hour or 2 hours at the high school, and then they're leaving to go somewhere else to study somewhere else or do something else.
Right.
So there's a in and out of those buildings at the upper level.
Oh, yeah.
Not so much in the grade
Right.
schools and stuff
Yeah.
that didn't exist before.
Right.
And so it's not a real easy thing to figure out how that's all going to happen.
Correct.
I wouldn't think.
No, it's not, and you know, like we alluded to, a lot of it just boils down to what does our school system, what do they, you know, want, or what do they think that their need is, what do our parents want, what do they think the need is, and trying to find that balance,
Right.
you know, between the two. And then obviously, you know, I can't say enough great things about the staff for the Tullahoma City Schools.
Oh,
I know
they're
Dr.
great, yeah.
Stevens, I have worked with her Probably a week doesn't go by we're not on the phone discussing something or talking about something. She's been ultra supportive, great relationship there. And our city staff, our Board of Mayor and Aldermen has been very supportive of this initiative. Our interim city administrator, Kenny Pearson, he's been 100% behind it. I got to thank Miss Sue Wilson, our Director of Finance. She helped, make a lot of things happen with it. So all of the city staff has been 100% supportive and behind it, and without them and without that team in place, it'd been hard to pull off. So.
But we're on the right road.
Yes, sir. I believe we are. Yes,
okay. Sir. With that floor waxed, I think we have some issues that you say you might want to talk about our sirens and our alert system.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to touch base real quickly to let our people know. Recently, we automated our tornado siren system, which is working great. So it's tied into the National Weather Service, where before we had to have somebody actually go in and manually activate that system. Now it's tied into the Weather Service. When we get the tornado warning or one is tracked coming through our area, it automatically triggers the alarm. So it's kind of taking us out of the process, which means it's going to be more accurate and it's going to be faster. So just want to remind people, though, that our tornado siren system is really I've fielded a couple questions about people not hearing it while they're in their house. And it's like, it's not really meant to warn people that are indoors that something is coming. It's meant to warn people that are outside or outdoors that you need to be seeking shelter. Hopefully, we can get weather radios, watch your news. You can go to Coffee County 911 to their website and sign up for a service called HyperReach, which will send you messages to your cell phones anytime that something comes through and is close to you. So a lot of things available. So just, let's make sure and use those. But just want to say we have automated our tornado siren system. It's working great. And we're very thankful. Once again, that's another project that we started working on and that the city was 100% supportive of getting done. So.
And pay attention to it.
Yes. Yes, sir.
And another thing I noticed we just touched on for a minute, last night at the board, again, they have a discussion about cell service. And that the cell service in our town is overloaded, and there's a lot of people having troubles with calls and dropping calls and not being able to get on the internet and stuff like that.
Right.
And so they are searching. There's been letters written, for those who didn't watch the board meeting last night, to Verizon, and but who's the person that's supposed to get the letter? They're having a hard time figuring out who's going to get this letter because nobody wants that letter. but know that and I live out toward Avoca, and when you get out in that area out there, you go down a little dip, you got nothing.
Right.
And a lot of times at our house, it's down. It takes forever to get anything done. So
right.
We're a lot of people in town now, and there's a lot of, people don't have dial-ups.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's all right there.
Mm-hmm. No, big demand for it.
And we hope that we can get that figured out. And Chief, again, it's always a pleasure to have
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you for your rapid response to things. Since you come into this position, I've noticed that stuff doesn't hang around very long till you have either something done about it or an answer why you can't.
Right.
And those are the two things that's all people can expect to hear.
Yes, sir.
We fixed it, or here's why we can't fix it, and I think we need to do this to fix it.
Yes, sir.
And let's get on the right trail and get things done. And
Yes, sir.
You've done that quite well.
Well, I would be amiss if I once again didn't give a plug for my staff and my men
certainly,
and women.
certainly.
They make it happen. So I'm just a guy with at times an idea, even if that, or
Right.
lots of times I get great ideas brought to me by my men and women, like, hey, we should do this. I'm like, you know what? That's a fantastic idea. Make it happen.
Right.
And,
Right.
So yeah, no, I've got a great staff and great men and women. So yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes,
And
sir.
we're proud of each and every one of them.
Yes, sir.
And remember, folks, they're on our side. When you see one of them, and no reason to be afraid of them, because they're out there to protect all of us that are doing what we need to be doing in the right way. Thanks, Chief.
Yes, sir.
See you next time.
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll be right back after these messages.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books, which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
Parkview Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
Do you love sports? Then you should know about STEM. Because maximizing nutrition, analyzing peak muscle performance, calculating the perfect shot, and more are all made possible by science, technology, engineering, and math. In fact, there are more careers than ever in sports science. So if you have a passion for sports, then think about getting involved in STEM and improve everyone's game on and off the field. Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Is great.
Welcome back. We're about to talk about piping on the green. And I have with me Mr. John Payton from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, sporting the most fabulous outfit. I love it.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
Have you had it long?
Well, I've worn a kilt off and on since 2019, and this is my first formal kilt.
Well, I love it. And what the difference in a formal kilt and a regular kilt? Is it a lot in the coat?
Yeah, because I theoretically could.
Because you've got a vest.
Take the coat and vest. It's called a Prince Charlie outfit.
I love it.
In reference to Charles Edward Stewart. And oh God.
Well, that's all right. We need to talk about piping on the green that starts Saturday at the Celtic Cup.
Right. It starts at 8 o'clock and runs till 6. We will have music. We have four bands. We'll have pipers that'll be playing in between sets with each band. We'll have vendors. We'll have food. It's going to be a great time.
It is going to be a great time, and I hope the weather is just like it is today.
Well, according to the Weather Service, we are going to have a pretty good day. At least it's not going to be like a few years ago when it was frost on the green.
Right. I know. I remember well.
And so it's...
I always have students involved, and so that's what gets me there. Plus, I love the Scotch and the Irish, and I love the whole thing, and the fact that it comes off at Celtic Cup every year is a
Well,
real
that's,
treat.
it's great that we have the Celtic Cup to, be able to do the, do the event, and, Chris and Denise Smith.
Oh my
are
goodness,
just- yes,
Chris and Denise Smith are just the best.
That they are.
They're
that they
very
are.
giving people, and go to a lot of trouble to keep everything just right. And I know people might be wondering about, there's no price, right? It's free.
That's right. It's free admission.
And the parking is always could be a problem, but I think it's still at the church.
We're going to have parking at the Church of Christ, which is about 2 blocks up.
Right.
And we're supposed to have a shuttle bus.
A shuttle bus?
To be able to get people.
Because I think in the past there's been a little cart. But
Right, that kind of fell through this year.
Oh, okay.
So, but we're supposed to have a shuttle bus.
Wonderful.
And we are, it's like I say, it's going to start at 8.
I think the official opening ceremony is at 9.
I believe
but
that's correct.
vendors are
yeah.
set up, and you're welcome to come early.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that we're not inviting dogs this year.
That one I have not heard.
I think I read that somewhere. I think it's just because it's kind of can be a problem. But
right.
Anyway, put on your Celtic outfits and come on in.
Aye, that it is.
How did you get interested? Is it because you're Scotch, obviously?
Well, I do have, I've always known that I've had some Scots in me, and then of course, after you do the 23andMe and find out that there's 48% of my DNA that can be traced directly to Scotland and Ireland.
That's wonderful.
And so I, once I figured out what clan that my family would have been associated with, we call them Seps, then it's like, okay, I can be a card-carrying, kilt-wearing member of Clan Donald.
Right.
And so, been doing that, and I've kind of embraced it.
I'm always intrigued by this pin that's on the.
It's a kilt pin,
It's
and
pretty.
it's designed to add a little weight so that
So it'll stay closed.
the apron of the kilt stays down.
Oh, and that's a good plan.
That's a very good plan.
So when the wind blows, there could be a problem.
It could. And I do need to do a shout out to our Thistle sponsors who've been
good.
gracious enough to supply us with money and services. So the Holiday Inn Express, the Celtic Cup, Citizens Tri-County Bank, Oliver Little Gibson Engineering, Trinity, oh Lord, Trinity Clinical Research, South Jackson Civic Center, of course, Vernon Cole Remodeling and Roofing, and Clan Donald USA. They've all contributed to help put on
this event.
Right.
We're so fortunate to have such giving people in and around this community, and I can't get over it because I think not every little hamlet in the world has the kind of sponsorship we have.
That's true. This is the 9th year that we have done Piping on the Green.
Right.
Obviously for 2 years because of the the COVID, we couldn't do it, and so we were back last year in full force, and this year promises to be very good. Next year is our 10th.
It's going to be something special, maybe?
We have one of the premier Scottish bands from Scotland is going to be kicking off their U.S. tour in Tullahoma at Piping, the Tannehill Weavers. They confirmed.
That's awesome.
We got official confirmation a couple of weeks ago, and if you've not heard the Tannies, it is definitely worth looking them up and listening to them. They are amazing.
Do you know what the performers are this year?
Yes, I do. We have Dune the Bray is opening. We have the Secret Commonwealth. We have Black Market Haggis. And then our headliner is Wild Blue Yonder.
Sounds like a great group.
And
they're going to perform periodically during the day.
Well, each band has 2 30 or 45-minute sets,
Segments.
and they'll take a break, and that's when the pipers will be playing in the meantime.
Right.
So, we're doing that, and then
I have some students that will be singing.
That's great.
Some a cappella, and they're just the students that I've had through the year. I just do teaching from September to April, and some of them are brand new singers, and 1 or 2 have more experience.
Right.
But they love doing it, and it's good for them to get a little history from the music. So that they'll be doing folk songs.
That's true. I remember hearing your troupe last year and thinking, wow.
Well, I hope they live up to that, because it's a different group this year.
Oh yeah, well I'm sure they will.
You will have to keep training new people. But anyway, it's good for them. And Piping on the Green is a lot of fun. And I think you can join up and become
a member of the Highland Rim Scottish Society. We'll have an information booth, and where you can get information about the society. And if you feel the need to join up, then
and
fine.
It's very inexpensive.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a chance to help support.
Right, and we'll also have T-shirts for sale.
Good.
And we'll also have Glencairn glasses, which are they're the
yeah.
fluted glasses that you can that enhance the whiskey tasting experience.
All right, if you want to learn some more about this, just show up. Just bring yourself and your family and come to Piping on the Green this Saturday, the 15th, at 8 o'clock it opens. And John, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I just love your outfit.
Well, thank you very
wish
much.
you could get up and model. Anyway, we'll be back with other stuff.
Okay.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton's Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere. Like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Hi there, camera lady and camera gentlemen. Thank you so much for putting a good, clear, colorful picture on the screen. And, we did have a big Easter weekend. It was a very blessed occasion, and the real meaning, I think, was right there for most folks. And the children with their Easter eggs and that sort of thing made it real great. Now, following this Keep Coffee County Beautiful, I think I mentioned it once before, but indeed it brings back memories of the first dump trash place in Tullahoma, and some of your older citizens would probably remember that the first dump or trash disposal place that I can remember was when it was on the west side of Rock Creek on West Lincoln Street, right across the creek from Lanham Manufacturing Company, and where the Life Communications building is now. It was off to the left of that building as you go into the plaza, but there was old ice boxes and tires and trash and boxes, and they burned it all right there, right by Rock Creek for years and years. Always smoke coming from down there. And of course, that got to be a mess, and it got to be bigger and bigger and bigger. And then the city had some land out on Wilson Avenue on the Lynchburg Highway that I don't know how many acres it was, but they used that for landfill for many, many years. And then it got filled with trash, and they moved it up toward Manchester on Highway 55 for a number of years, and it too became filled. And then the dump trucks and trash trucks, garbage trucks, take I think the garbage from this area down into off Powell Road, I think somewhere in Bedford County. But you know, a community is judged by the way that the citizens maintain their property. In one sense of the word, if their houses are painted and yards are clean and the grass is been mown and the leaves have been raked and the yards are cleared and the gutters don't have any trash in them, then any tourist or anybody coming into a community says, hey, this place is real neat, look at it. And it is, it's judged by, and everybody should take enough pride in their own property to keep it good and clean. It's more livable, more useful, more pleasant. And speaking of coming into town, I thought I'd share a little bit this morning about the streets and highways and byways. When I was a little boy, the only streets that were even similarly paved were part of Atlantic and Lincoln and Jackson right downtown. All the other streets in Tullahoma were gravel. And when they started to blacktop a street, they'd pour a dump load of crushed rock and then come over it with a portable tar spray and spray it down. Then they'd come with another load of finely crushed rock and put on top of that tar. And I remember them doing that back in the early 30s and 40s. And the road grader, at first, I remember a little boy on Atlantic Street and Grundy Street, away 2 or 3 blocks away from town. They had a mule-drawn grader that they kept the crushed rock over in the middle of the street so that it would be smooth there. But dust, boy, the dust was terrible all over town. As Tullahoma grew, then they began to what they call macadamize streets, and that is there was a process that they used, not pre-mixed like it is now, but you know, that kind of crushed rock and tar that was mixed together and paved some, and of course it would get all over your tires and your fenders and your car, but it became a whole lot better way of traveling around town. And the city limits up until about 1940-41 on the north side of Tullahoma, out or northeast it was the city limit was where Patton's food store is now. And on the opposite end of that, it was on West Lincoln, at the corner of West Lincoln and Cedar Lane. And on the Wilson Avenue city limit was at the corner of Cedar Lane and Wilson Avenue, where the old CVS drugstore used to be. And the other one on Jackson Street was at the corner of Jackson and Wilson Avenue. That's where the city limit was. And the cemetery was outside the corporation at that time. And the highway to Shelbyville, to Winchester, and to Manchester were not built until 1941, and they were military roads, and the general public could not use those highways until about 1945, when the maneuvers had been completed, Army maneuvers had been completed in Tullahoma. But by and little by little, streets further from downtown Tullahoma were paved, and I do remember that Jackson Street from Carroll to Wilson Avenue were paved in the late 30s, because they just had a two-lane street there, no gutters, no sidewalks, no drainage facilities were there at all. But it was a great day for Tullahoma when they completed Jackson Street. It had been paved with 4 lanes there. And you know, they talk about the Indy 500. North Jackson Street from Friday noon till Sunday night is just like the Indy 500. It could use 3 or 4 more lanes on each side to accommodate the amount of traffic that's there. But they've come a long, long way, and we're glad that they have. Tullahoma's a beautiful town. It's laid out good, and thanks to the Public Works Department, most of the streets are in real good shape. And if you have a pothole in your neighborhood or want it repaired, just call the City Hall of Public Works, and they'll come and fix it for you. And we're glad that you got to be with us today. And remember now, this is not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come. Thank you, and have a good day.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Okay, here we go.
3, 2.
3, 2, 1.
COVID-19 has been a really long and difficult fight.
So when we start talking about COVID, I completely get it. It's frustrating.
We've all been impacted one way or another.
The fight against COVID is also changing really quickly.
And it's sometimes really hard to keep up. So here are a few things we know.
We are not fighting the same virus from 2020.
Right now, new variants are a lot more contagious and need to be taken seriously.
Getting vaccinated and staying boosted is the best way to keep you protected from COVID-19 and help you stay out of the hospital.
Even if you got COVID before, it's important that you go get your COVID booster.
COVID vaccines are safe.
Much safer than getting COVID-19.
We all want this to end sooner than later.
So go ahead and do things.
Go out and live your life, but get vaccinated. Stay boosted.
We can all do our part.
And get back to living.
You can go to getvaccineanswers.org for more information.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get started on Juneteenth. And today we have Royce Massagel and Jamie Moorhead in the studio with us, who are the Juneteenthers.
Yes. What's going on?
Juneteenthers.
I like that. I like that. How you doing?
Doing good, and you?
Hey, man.
Is it planning time?
Yeah,
Ready to move forward?
Yeah,
Yes.
That's what we've been doing, man. Just planning. And, I actually, she's the planner. I can't take all that credit. You know what I'm saying? She's the planner. You feel what I'm saying? And
he executes very well.
You the executioner.
I try my best. I really do. I try my best, man. So we're real excited about what we got going on. Last year was a success. It was we had great reviews. What did the newspaper say? You like to say
Overwhelming success.
An overwhelming success. And so much so that they said we can give you guys 3 days if you can handle that. And so we were like, that's a pretty big jump from the first one.
Right.
We was okay, give us 2 days. No, they skipped that one and gave us 3. So we're really excited about it. And so now we're just back letting people know we're coming again. It's going to be bigger and better. We got some additives to the event. And we're trying to get these sponsors to get the community involved, because this event is going to be sponsored by the people, just like last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have 3 days. The first day is just the evening event. Sorry, my shirt is messed up. But Friday we're having a basketball tournament. Saturday is all the good festivities, bounce houses, just fun in general. And those 2 days are outdoors. And then Sunday we have our Father's Day brunch. And so that is for all the dads who want to be catered to and not have to pay at a restaurant and pretend like the family paid for his dinner.
Yep.
Right?
Stay out your pockets, gentlemen.
So we are getting that catered, obviously. So I'm excited. Of course, I'm always excited for the Father's Day stuff. So
good.
I'm excited for the whole weekend. Don't quote me in the wrong context, but
Right. And so the event is being held where?
It's going to be it's going to be June 16th through the 18th. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Right.
It will be we'll be jumping from, well, not really jumping, but the whole area pretty much from CD Stamps all the way to Jefferson Park. So we got all of Jefferson Street Park, and then we've got all of CD Stamps that we're utilizing.
Right.
So we're having it outside, because last year we had it inside because we weren't sure about how outside would work, and a lot of things were kind of limited at that time. Let's just say it like that. So they allowed us to use the spaces necessary. We're like, okay, well, we're going to use, pretty much the whole south side a little bit,
Right.
Tullahoma. So we got the park, and we have CD Stamps that they're going to let us use. We're excited about that.
We are.
And to tip on that, we actually we've been doing some sponsor shopping and stuff, and we got to give a shout out to Ignite.
Yes.
You got to get a shout out. Now, I don't know if y'all can see the tea that's sitting there or not, but we created, there you go, sitting right there. So we created something to where, with Ignite, that if you buy this particular tea, which I'm about to say the name in a minute, I have to give myself credit because I had some bars on that one.
Did.
It was good. She was like, well, what do y'all want to name the tea? Like the tea. I was like, let's call it June tea. You know what I'm saying? Let's call it June tea, and that's what it is. What is this a mixture of? Because I just had a taste today.
Yeah. So
She been cheating. She been drinking.
This is my second one.
Yeah.
It tastes like the blue sweet tart, the tropical punch sweet tart, but it is healthy. So there's no aftertaste, but it does have like protein and energy substitute in there, and it's just all good stuff. I can't list all of that because that's really not in my job description.
Now, who's making this?
Ignite.
Ignite, right there by Kroger, the area between Kroger and PF.
Yeah, by Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness.
And so starting in May from May 1st to May 20th, you can buy the June tea, and part of the proceeds will go to funding our second annual Juneteenth.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the kind of relationship we're trying to build with some of these businesses out here. If you guys are looking like, yo, let's all come together and just create some things. If you guys got some products out there you need a name to, holla at me. Holla at me. We get you straight. No, but we do appreciate the community getting involved, and that as far as like that really is the theme as far as the pre-production, to make sure people feel involved, because this is just not about Black history. This is American history.
Sure.
You know, so we want everybody to be a part of that. So that's how we're doing it.
Now, let me get my head around the fact that CD Stamps,
Okay.
it's on Jackson Street.
Right.
And then is there a street
Right next to
behind that that's not, is Jefferson Street 2 streets back?
Just
It
one.
actually is one street. It's a complete block. Yeah. The next
So
street
it's-
over will be
it's
Jefferson.
the next street over. It runs parallel to Jackson.
Yep.
Yes.
Jefferson is the next street, and then there's an entrance to the park right there on Jefferson Street.
Right.
Yep.
So it's not like it's going to be a big walk from one place to
Oh
the
yeah,
other.
no. There's
There's a
actually a
little
walkway.
walkway.
Last year we put the vendors within the walkway, so it was
Like
perfect.
Walmart.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Kind of like Walmart. So on your way to CD Stamps, you can check out the vendors.
Sure.
But the way we're going to have it set up now is just like we got so many spaces to utilize. You know.
The vendors will be in the park.
Mhm.
One complaint that they had was that they were not able to enjoy the indoor festivities, which was like the speaking and all of that stuff. So we decided it would be best to have everything outside, so where
Yes.
even the vendors feel included in the situation. Like
Sure,
they may have
sure.
made their money, but they didn't get to hear the guest speakers, and so we want to make sure that the vendors get to hear, the spoken word or the guest speakers, and enjoy the fun.
Yeah, there. Yeah, there. Yeah.
You got a thought?
I got a thought.
He's got a
Are
thought.
there sidewalks on Jefferson Street down there?
Yes.
Yep. There's sidewalks. Sure enough. There's actually a little bridge. Kind of. It's not really a bridge.
See, that's one of my pet peeves.
Yeah.
And when we went through the 2040 plan and all that, sidewalks. I'm a big sidewalk guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you look at downtown, when you look at old Tullahoma, there's sidewalks.
Right.
We did it right a long time ago.
Right.
And those aren't, I mean, they might be replaced in newer sidewalks now, but there've been sidewalks down in that area
Yeah.
for years.
No, yeah, there has. No, there has.
And so that makes it easier to walk, the walkability of that whole area.
Yeah.
down
Right.
there.
And because there's a lot of people that just haven't been on that side of town, really, just for anything, park-wise or just having a cookout. And, like I said, we just kind of, we want to break that monotony of, everybody, being a part of everything that Tullahoma has to offer. I know some people may be a little shaky or hesitant, in certain areas of the town they may not be used to, but this is too small of a town
Yeah.
not to be affiliated with all sectors,
Oh, sure.
Yeah, definitely. So you come one, come all.
So again, this is going to be dates,
June 16th through June 18th.
18th at CD Stamps.
CD Stamps in Jefferson
at
Park.
Jefferson Park.
Yep.
Right. And if you want to donate, text the number that you see on the screen,
Oh, snap.
and then we'll send you the link to donate or become a vendor or a sponsor, whatever you decide you would like to do. We appreciate everything.
And go ahead and let's give a little bit more to the tea place.
Yeah, that June tea, shout out to Ignite. You guys make sure that you, between May 1st and May 20th, you come by the Ignite and you order the June tea. June tea
Yes.
is good, all right?
It's really good.
Part of the proceeds will go towards the Juneteenth event. So,
Yes.
like I said, this is town affiliated, town sponsored, and we want you to be a part of it.
And I imagine on the days of the event that you'll probably have a little June tea on site.
Well, of course, 'cause I'm not going to make it without
Hey, we're gonna go live too. Yeah, we're gonna go live on that day. On May 20th. That'll be like a final day.
Right.
We're gonna go live and we're gonna meet people, at the parking lot. And, we're gonna give shout outs. Anybody want to get on the camera, give a shout out, and supporting this event? Come on with it.
Music. Is there going to be music involved?
Oh yeah, they're going to be music, and we just finalized who is
We
going
got
to
the
be
legendary
performing.
Hamiltons performing live.
Outstanding.
Yes, it's going to be a good night.
It's actually symbolic because their family, we dedicated the new basketball court to their family. So
Right.
they'll be playing there. So it's like a full circle.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yep.
So I'm sure we'll have some more about this as the closer we get, but put it on your calendar and get ready to be involved in the Juneteenth celebration. And I want to thank both of you for
having us.
No, man.
being as involved in the community as you are and presenting good things in a different way that's inclusive to everyone.
Yeah, edutainment.
Thanks a lot.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
We'll see you next time,
Yes,
okay?
sir.
And I know you'll be back before the event.
You already know.
Yeah,
We'll be back.
no,
All right.
you might see us once a week.
We'll
if
be
you
back after these messages.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department needs you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my man, Mr. Philip Scoggins, found his way to Manchester, Tennessee to harvest local foods downtown Manchester, and they had a deviled egg contest. Now, there's nothing finer on the Easter day than looking on the table and seeing a great big platter of deviled eggs. It's Southern gets. And they had a contest over there, and guess who was there to film it and do a little bit of interviewing? Philip Scoggins.
So the judging has begun in the deviled egg contest at Harvest Local Foods in Manchester. Judges are scoring, they're sampling, they're trying to decide which one is the best. And now that the judges have all gotten their eggs, everybody else gets to try some eggs. Look at that. What have we got here? all kinds of eggs. I'm talking to John Myers out here at Harvest Local Foods for the deviled egg competition, and he was a judge. And I have a few questions for you. How many years have you done this?
This is the first year I've done this. I was just asked this year to do it. Since my name started with a J, I fit the criteria. So all the judges had to start, their first name start with a J.
Okay. That's good criteria right there. I guess I can't be a judge. And what qualifies you besides having the name starting with J?
I grew up on a farm, so I've eaten a lot of eggs in my day. And, you know, you can tell by my body, I've eaten a lot of food in general. And so I guess being a connoisseur of good food is in my wheelhouse, you might say.
Okay, great. And what did you think about all the eggs you tasted today?
Well, I tell you, there was some really surprises in there. It's not always about the appearance of something. Sometimes you can be surprised. Some of the maybe the prettier ones maybe didn't taste as good as some of the ones that kind of looked plain, but boy, they had a really good taste to them. So it's a lot of good surprises there, and there's a lot of creativity in those eggs. I was surprised by the level of creativity. I really didn't think about eggs that would be based on bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, and and garlic, garlic eggs. So there's a lot of creativity there. So.
Well, do you think you want to do it again next year?
Well, yeah. If Ellen asked me and she needed a judge, I'd be happy to do it again next year. You know, Ellen's is a great resource here for farmers and for consumers here in Manchester. This store, she carries local products, and she's a super person, and so it's a great little store. And so I'd encourage anybody who's watching this to frequent Harvest to be able to buy directly. You're buying as direct as you can from farmers. Most farmers, you can't go to their farm and buy it directly from them because they have no way to sell it there. They don't do retail. But a place like this, they buy from the farmers and then they pass it along to the consumers. And it's really a great resource for the farmers, and it's a great resource for the community.
That is great to hear. Okay, back to the eggs. I know you can't tell the winner right now. We're going to see that in a minute. What is your favorite kind of deviled egg, you think?
Well, I'm big on flavor. I'm big on flavor, and so the one that I rated the highest had some creativity to it, and also was had a good flavor profile to it. It actually was the BLT egg. It was kind of stuck in my head, so I don't know I have no idea who did that egg, but that was my favorite. But there was several of them that was real close. I rated 3 or 4 of them really close. It's just like 1 point apart.
Wow.
We had a scale of 1 to 25, and so I rated. There was 4 of them that was within a point of one another. So there was several good ones.
Okay, well, thank you for your time, and we hope to see you next year at the deviled egg competition at Harvest Local Foods.
Well, thank you.
So these rubber chickens that we have here are kind of like mascots and of Harvest. So second and third get to hold a chicken through the night, just kind of as bragging rights. But then don't take the chicken home, it stays here at Harvest. That's where the chicken lives. Third place is number 14.
So our eggs are smoked, cold smoked in cherry, topped with smoked paprika, homemade candied bacon, chives, and a touch of caviar.
Second place, drum roll. We have number 1. It was Eggs Benedict. Eggs Benedict is what I did. First place. Number 9.
Hi,
my name is Ringo. Here at Barkview Senior Living, they're human-friendly. That's why I love it here, and so does my senior human. When they want a bite, they get chef-prepared meals, and so do I. Movies in the theater, day trips, walks on the trail, and other senior humans to play with. The grass and the grounds are exquisite. It's everything my human needs to be healthy and active. Barkview. A Parkview Senior Living. For your dog's best friend, you.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how's sketches, mate? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. You even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you got to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
To the left. To the right. Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I'm an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back and glad to have our buddy, Mr. Jackie Duncan, here with us today. He's a showstopper and a show closer. We're going to keep him here to the bitter end. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastically well.
Good for you.
Fantastically well. It's a joy and a blessing to be here.
We're just glad to have you.
Every day you wake up, though, it's a joy and blessing to be here.
There you go.
Certainly.
I agree.
Did you have a good Easter?
I did. We were talking just a little bit ago about last Sunday at church. My pastor we haven't, of course, since COVID, we haven't had full participation. But like
I don't think anybody has.
No, you're right, and
Changed
we just
things.
Yeah, that's true. It's changed our life, changed our way of living, and changed a lot of lives. But we still we're broadcast over the internet. But pastor wanted to have I'm at Mount Zion Baptist Church. It's one of the oldest. It is I think the oldest original standing church building in Tullahoma.
Probably so.
Yeah, it is. It's on the historical record. Of course, we built a new addition back 15 years or so ago, and so at one time we were the oldest and the newest church in Tullahoma. That's right. At one time, I know pretty good. I know things like that, just for memory's sake. But anyway, Pastor mentioned something about just wanted to have an Easter program, and so let's get all the kids back, try to and everything. And so the youth department got the kids back, and they said we need some poems, and all this. And somebody looked at me and said, well, you got anything? And I said, yeah, I always got something. And so I spent first part of the week working on Easter poems, and I think I came up with about 5 or so. And I already had some I wanted that were too long for little kids, you know. So I thought, well, let me modify these, some of them, and it put me back to work to thinking about things, you know. And when you think about it, you know, there's every kind of religion. We all got so many religions, but that we subscribe to or that are offered to us worldwide.
Of course.
And I wrote that little poem. I got thinking, you know, and I said, but everybody, every man that has ever lived, every man, woman, every human being that's ever lived has died. But only one got up. And that's the one I believe in.
Pretty
you know.
amazing, isn't
It is. I said, and you can't help but believe in the one that got up. You know, well, you got to give that your greatest consideration. And that's the way I look at it. And I said, and I wouldn't serve a God I couldn't feel. And I said, you know, you can feel Jesus. And it's been proven over the years that even back then, after he rose, you know, from the dead. And I'm not here I'm not a preacher, and I'm not here to try to sway anybody one way or the other. But you know what? That's what I was writing about, and I'm thinking this, you know. And I said, you know what? I don't. Hey, this is good enough for me.
Have you brought any to share with us?
I've got a little bit here that.
Are you kidding?
Good. And this one is, well, these others were kind of, like I said, I kind of modified them for the kids. But this one in particular, the God you can feel, says every religion has its own savior. Followers need someone to show them the way. Although all these saviors lived once, then died, only one conquered death and rose from the grave. Who is this man that angels call master? The wind and the rain obey his command, who promised his followers life everlasting in a city called heaven, the promised land. With every religion exalting its Savior, neither eyes nor ears can determine which is real. But with Jesus you feel his love, grace, and mercy. And who would serve a God that they could not feel? Although through Jesus, salvation is guaranteed, a gift to man only God could give. And the reason I know he's the Son of God, he died, then rose, and yet he lives. So, you know, and that's, yeah, and I wanted to, and I had some other little poems that I wanted to, that I modified for kids, and then my printer messed up again. And so I had bought me a new printer.
Ain't technology wonderful?
God, I know it. And I think sometimes, you know, that it bothers me to think about that. Of course, the most expensive part of printing is the ink. You know, you can buy a printer and it'll last you a long time usually, but then they stop making the ink for it when they want you to buy a new printer.
I know.
When they want you to buy a new printer, so
they just quit making ink.
They quit making the ink cartridges for them. I'm working on a way to. I ain't gonna say that.
So did y'all get a little program put together?
Oh, got a program put together, and I was sitting there almost.
Fabulous.
Oh, it was fantastic. Those kids did a great job.
That's wonderful.
And it just tickled me to be there, be a part of it. And I tried to make sure I was there on time, you know, because I said I don't want to miss anything these kids got. And to hear, and one of them, and I got up, and I didn't expect this. And they got up, and one of them got up and said, called the name of it, says, "A God You Can Feel" by Jackie Arnell Duncan. I said, no, they go call my name there, but that was a blessing.
Yeah, of course it was.
We had a great program, and these kids did a fantastic job. So I was just tickled. But and one other thing passed before that, really, just right over across the street here a few weeks ago, First Christian Church, they offered the book club, local book club.
Yeah, I heard about
and
that.
I can't think their name right at the moment. But anyway, Dot Watson I think she's president of it or whatever. And they're right down behind the Martinizing. They're located at the bookstore, and so they had the
bookshelf.
The bookshelf. That's what I'm looking for.
Used bookstore.
Used bookstore, and they are a fantastic operation. They put on a book signing. I had about 13 of us there. I did a book signing, enjoyed it, and it was just a fabulous day. And so we, you should have been there.
I wasn't invited.
Well, we make sure that we'll make sure that the word gets around next time. But anyway, it was a good book signing, and I was just tickled to be a part of it. They're still doing some things, and they provide. I know that it's a literacy program locally to help people get their GEDs and all, and they work with the jail system.
That's a good
and
thing.
So and I was going to be a part of that group, and then I got sick, and this was right at COVID, and so anyway, I'm waiting now that and I probably will get back with them to join them, and to want to be. I like to be part of a great operation, and just good things that are happening in the community. Some things, if you're geared toward and you're designed, you personally can contribute in a better way, I guess, than it's right down your alley, really.
Right.
You know, so and you can be a better part of it to help out. So I'm looking forward to getting back with them, but it was just a good thing. But and one last thing, at that opportunity over there, they had a door clock that had WWJD on it. In the church, and I thought about that, and that's what I wrote a poem about. WJ said, when confronted with a problem, with the decision up to you to ensure you make the right choice, just ask, what would Jesus do? Will you stand by your decision once its full effects are known? Are you sure there'll be no regrets? The choice is yours alone. You see, solutions aren't always simple. They're not usually black and white. But if you do it just like Jesus would, there's no way it won't be right. But in whatever situation, the call is strictly up to you. Why risk the chance of failure? Just ask, what would Jesus do? And I wrote that poem.
Really good.
Oh, I wrote that poem back in, 20 years ago. There was a WWJD movement going on at the time, and I was just glad to be part of it.
All right, we're out. I take it we're out of here, seeing as how there's nothing but zeros down there. Folks, we appreciate you watching. Tell your friends to watch. We replay 3 times more this week. We'll see you next time.